Hi, my name is Nora Jost and I have Cushing's disease. Friendly reminder to all of you who may be new or may not remember that I am not a medical professional. I'm talking about my own experiences. So if you're looking for medical opinions, talk to a doctor, not me. In my last video I talked about like pre-surgery, going into surgery and what that was. So now I'm going to talk about coming out of surgery. The morning of surgery, I woke up, I had my little to-go pack ready, and I had the second surgery of the day. I think it was around 11. So I arrived like 2 hours early, and I went in, and first thing I did was just like sign into the surgical center. They gave me like a little wrist thing, and I hung out, and I was like, cool, chilling. And then they brought me to the back, and I was able to just kind of like hang out, call my friends, like nothing too serious. Then about an hour beforehand I had to get changed, and then I would have the anesthesiologist come in and talk to me, and what they kind of make sure is that you know what you're like, what surgery you're going in for, sound mind, basically like, hey, what are you doing, like who's your surgeon? So I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to Dr. McCutcheon, remove my pituitary tumor, and they were like, great, you know what you're doing. They had that question all the time. They marked my forehead a little bit just to make sure that like that's after they enter, they go through your nose, right? So for the surgery, they go in through your nose and then to the pituitary, and again go through that membrane and pull out the tumor. So that's what they did. Then about an hour beforehand, I got a little nervous. They gave me like a little bit of morphine. So all my friends who checked in with me like right before surgery, I was like, stop, I'm cool. Chilling. I was able to leave my stuff with them. This was during COVID. I'm not sure if you're watching this now, a month from now, 5 years from now, but during COVID you couldn't have any visitors, so I was completely by myself. So then they brought me over. I changed the hospital gown, more undies underneath but nothing on top, and I left my stuff with the nurses. Felt super safe doing that. And then they wheeled me over to the room, and at this point I was on morphine. I was a little bit out of it. And they picked me up out of I was in a bed that like reclined, so they wheeled me out on my own bed, and then I was lifted, put onto the surgical thing, and then they did the mask. I forget how I went under. I was on morphine, but they put me under, had me count down. I definitely didn't make it past like 7 from 10, and I was outie. Whew, coming out of surgery was rough. I was totally out of it. The nurse had me call my parents. I don't remember that at all. I called my fiance and all that jazz. Don't remember that at all. I was in a lot of pain. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would, like, every time I could, you could basically, I think it was 25 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever, you could get like a little more pain medication. And I was like, yeah, like pump it. All the pain medication. I had a low tolerance for this kind of pain. The biggest thing is that I had balloons. Now, so there's a lot of different ways that you pack the nose. Some people do these like stilts that like dissolve over time. Some people do balloons. The balloons are big. They go all the way back. And I had the balloons in, so I felt like stuffed. I was like breathing through my mouth, and I think that's something to like know before going into surgery too, because if not, you're like. So I was like panting. And afterwards, I was in the kind of recovery for like 2 hours, kind of getting out of it. Pumped morphine, and then they transferred me over to the ICU, and I was in a tremendous amount of pain that night. I really was. I needed to get my morphine approval though, and it wasn't approved because there had been an emergency in the hospital, so that's why. Hopefully it won't be that bad for you. The biggest thing that I would say is like they're always going to ask like what your pain levels are, etc. And be honest, but at the same time also like don't be afraid to ask for more, because at first they're like, yeah, we're trying to wean you off the morphine, and I was like, heck no, you're not. You're not gonna wean me off of it because I need that. I am weak and I am in pain. So wake me up every few hours for pain medications and check-ins, etc. And it was rough, but it, you know, looking back, it seems a lot more manageable. At the time, I was like, they do put tubes in your mouth for breathing during the surgery, so my throat hurt a lot, so don't be afraid if that happens. And I wasn't hungry. A lot of people say they're not hungry. If you are hungry, it doesn't mean the surgery wasn't successful, but like, you know, if you're not, like, that's totally normal too. At MD Anderson, they have this great mango sorbet. I like lived my whole life off the mango sorbet. I had it for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. It was fantastic. It helped. It was the only thing I wanted. It's the only thing that helped me, and I still have like freaking mango sorbet in my house now. I'm obsessed with it. It's fantastic.